Out of the gates and ready to go. Welcome into this live edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. So glad to have you with us. Coming up on today's show, we are going to let you hear from future Hall of Fame quarterback Eli Manning as he weighed in on the Chiefs' playoff picture. We will dissect what he had to say, react to it, and look at the playoff path for Kansas City as they gear up for another Super Bowl run. Also, with this being a bye week, the Chiefs taking off this week, already, of course, having home field advantage in the AFC, we will go over the bye week changes that the Chiefs need to make. Plus, we will take a look at the updated Kansas City Chiefs depth chart heading into the postseason. And we'll answer your Q&A rumors mailbag questions as well. Use hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat to get on the mailbag portion of today's show. As you guys file in, shout out your city. We'll shout you out as we get this show off and rolling. We are coming at you live here on this Tuesday afternoon from the Chat Sports Studios in downtown Dallas, Texas. And it has been a few weeks since we did a live show here on the channel as we were busy with the holidays and off days and all that, but nonetheless, we are glad to be here with y'all and making this live show happen today as we do each and every week at 4:30 Central Time. And, of course, we'll be live for every playoff game the rest of the way with our watch parties, so don't miss out on that. Let us know where you guys are watching from. I see Tony's in El Paso. I got Rio in Raytown. I got Hot Laps 360 or 630 in Moorhead, Minnesota. I got Richard checking in Waukene, Kansas. Good to see you, Richard. Let us know where you're at. It's a little cold here in Dallas. I know that there was a big snowstorm in Kansas City within the last couple of days. We're expected to get a big snowstorm here. I'm not looking forward to that. I'm not a winter guy by any stretch of the imagination, but we will power through as we must. Barkus is in St. Louis. Got D in San Antonio. I got Severo in Smithville, Missouri. Good to see you, Severo. I got Mike in Lincoln, Nebraska, home of the Cornhuskers. Tell Matt Rule I said what's up. Let us know where you guys are at. Would love to hear from you as we get this show rolling here on this Tuesday afternoon. So let's ask you as we get ready for the postseason. Real simple question. Are the Chiefs going to go back to back to back? Are they winning their third straight Super Bowl? Are they winning the fourth of the Mahomes era? Weigh in, let us know. Y for yes, in for no. If you're a hater, if you're a doubter and don't believe they will, tell me why you don't think the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. Type Y for yes, in for no. Let us know. Mike says yes. Richard says yes. Tony says yes. Hot Lap says yes. Mike says this just feels like a team of destiny. Tony says yes. Ortiz saying yes. Barkus saying yes. David saying yes. So everybody on the same page. We're feeling pretty confident. I've been told, folks, I'll say this before we get to our ad reads real quick. I've been told I'm becoming the cocky Chiefs fan, that I am a little overconfident. And you know what? I feel like that's earned at this point. Maybe I am a little cocky. Maybe I'm a little confident, overconfident. But when you've played as well as the Kansas City Chiefs have all season, in addition to what they've done in recent years, I feel like that they deserve that type of confidence going into the postseason. Susan says yes as well. Before we go any further in today's program, let's tell you about our sponsors. We begin with GameTime. GameTime is a new feature called GameTime Picks that makes getting tickets for events even easier. GameTime Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals and great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value. They have their super deals. If you see a super deal, that's a deal you don't want to pass up on, folks. They also have a feature that you can customize your spot as well. And they also have these seat views where you get the visual, see what that seat is like. You choose the event you want to go to. They got the prices listed. You choose your seat. Then you're checking out just like that with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download GameTime today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. GameTime, proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Glad to have them on board here on today's show. We're also sponsored by our friends at PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. You choose 2 or more players on any given category, get the choice of more or less. Whether you're talking fantasy points in football, rebounds in basketball, goals in hockey, all sorts of different categories to choose from. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS, where you can win up to 1,000 times your money. And on top of that, folks, you can get $50 to play for free when you play $5. You don't even have to win to get the money. Just go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. This week, looking ahead to the college playoffs as we got action on Thursday night with the Orange Bowl between Penn State and Notre Dame. And then on Friday, it is the Cotton Bowl between Texas and Ohio State. I'm going with Jeremiah Smith, who's been the best receiver in college football as of late, to have more than 86.5 receiving yards. Going with Drew Aller to have more than 180.5 passing yards. And Judkins to have less than 53.5 rushing yards. Play along with me, prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. PrizePicks, proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. All right. Big Tex is going to join me here in just a moment. You will hear from him for the first time today. I know Tony's going to be thrilled to hear from Big Tex. If you would like a shout-out from the one and only Big Tex, all you have to do is spam C in the chat. We already have 65 people here with us. This will wake up the algorithm a bit. That way we can let more people know we're here, that we're live, that we're bringing you our weekly live show. But we need you guys to spam C as much as possible over this next minute. So I'm going to count you guys down, and then let's see how many C's we can get over this next minute. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Start spamming C.
Tony, Mike, Tony, Richard, Lanny, Co, Tony. Did you get your workout in, bro? Gilbert.
What'd you work out today, Tony?
Good question. Hot laps. Co, Jeremiah, Tony, Gilbert, Carl, Ken, Tony, Richard, Co, Sandra, Gilbert, Frank, Sandra, Tony, Gilbert, Hot, Richard, Co, Norma.
Leg day for Tony. Can't skip leg day.
Never skip leg day, Tony. Good shit. Mike, Tony, Richard, Co, Sandra, Co, Richard, Tony, Michael. He says, let's go Chiefs with a bunch of emojis. I like it. Sandra, Co, Gilbert, Richard, Sandra, Frank, Delphine.
10 seconds.
Co,
Keep going.
Sandra, Richard, Gilbert, Sandra, Norma, Richard, Frank, Gilbert, Sandra, Richard, Norma.
Nice.
Sandra.
Nice work. Tony said that his birthday is next Friday. Big Tex, what would you get Tony for his birthday?
I would get Tony either a set of...
It's got to be workout equipment,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Or Chiefs gear.
One of the two. How about I give him both? I'll give him a set of elastic bands for stretching before you work out and after. And then the other one would be a Patrick Mahomes or a Xavier Worthy jersey.
I think for him, he's such a Noah Gray guy.
Okay, let's get him a Noah Gray
jersey. Noah Gray jersey.
Noah Gray jersey.
I don't know how much those are in demand, but I think he would need some Noah Gray gear. He has been the Noah Gray whisperer. Yeah. What was it, Tony? You probably know this. What was the game earlier this year when I asked you to name an X Factor? I think it was the Carolina game. And Tony said Noah Gray, and he went off that day. True. So Tony knows ball, and he knows lifting too. He got his workout in. He said he would love either gift.
There you go.
So, yes, Tony is right about that. So, Tony, appreciate you being here with us. Texter, I know it's been a couple weeks since we've done a live show, but
yes,
good to be back.
Yes, sir.
Exciting time in the kingdom as we got the week off. I view this with getting the bye. Mm-hmm. That's a playoff win.
Yeah.
And you rest everybody, too.
True.
You don't get the injuries and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I know that this week can be kind of boring for everybody else. I was hearing a lot of people talk about how the Chiefs having the bye with having like 25 days between games is not great for TV ratings.
Right.
But I don't care. I don't care about ratings. I care about winning championships. And they're in a really good spot right now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I get what you mean about, in terms of like a television standpoint, but if you're
That's not our job.
That's not our job. And if you're the Chiefs, what you want is that week of rest to have the bye week so that you don't have to play right off the rip, and you get a little bit of time for everybody on the team to get a little bit more healthy, which sets you up for more long-term success in a very long and very deep AFC playoff race.
So somebody was asking, because you don't have the green background today. We're in a different studio.
Yes.
We're still at the Chat Sports Studios in Dallas. Are you somewhere else? No,
Yes.
Texas right there. I can high-five him, and you will see my hand. Did they see my hand?
There we
See,
go.
yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. He's right there. He's right there. Tex hasn't gone anywhere.
I'm here.
I haven't gone anywhere. We're still all here together. So don't worry. We're all in one place. But just a different studio within the building today.
Got the skyscraper behind us.
Yes. No just typical green screen behind
nice
Tex.
change.
Nice change of scenery, as they say. We are at 20 likes right now. Let's get to 35, and we can start today's show. I'm already at 20. When you like the video, let me know in the chat. Type me. I'll shout you out. And let's get the likes going. Do your part. Like the video. And let's get this show started. If you want the Chiefs to repeat again, if you love the Kansas City Chiefs, if you're glad to be hanging out with Jonesy and Big Tex on a Tuesday afternoon, hit that like button. Once we get to 35, we'll get the show started. Tony liked it. Richard liked it. Andrew liked it. Hot Laps liked it. Mike Tilson already did. Thank you, Mike. 6 more away from starting the show. 6 more. Frank says we're not scared of the Bengals. By the way, I haven't really talked about that, but what a silly controversy. What a faux controversy that was started that the Chiefs were afraid of the Bengals and that they threw that game against the Broncos to intentionally keep the Bengals out of the playoffs. I can tell you this right now. Had the Bengals lost on Saturday against the Steelers, that vanilla game plan you saw from Andy Reid Sunday would have been the exact same thing. The Chiefs were not worried about the Bengals whatsoever. It was a ridiculous idea that they were somehow worried about the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I'd rather the Broncos be in the playoffs than the Bengals. That is true. But the Bengals did not even cross my mind at all on Sunday. And I don't think they crossed Andy Reid's mind either. We did reach 35 likes. Thank you. Mike, Peter is here, among others. Appreciate y'all for doing that. Super chat menu. I would love to get some super chats today. I don't care if it's just $1, if it's $5, if it's $50, if it's $100. Feel free to contribute and get some screen time on today's show. You'll also get priority on our mailbag segment we'll be doing coming up later on. $sign next to the chat box if you'd like to contribute. First half super chatter, you get the KC chant. $5, we'll do the Mahomes song for you. $10, take some shots. $20, get Bean Boozled with the spicy jelly bean. $50, we will do a beer bong. You guys know how it is. When we drink, we score. We drink, we win. I know we don't even know who we're playing yet in the divisional round, but we can get a little head start on things if you guys want to contribute and drink with us and get down on a Tuesday. Going up on a Tuesday. Here's what's coming up on this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Eli Manning. Eli. He has weighed in on the Kansas City Chiefs. And let's just say, I like Eli, but he's coming off as a bit of a hater. We'll explain more. Also, it is a bye week. What do the Chiefs need to do differently to prepare for the postseason? I have my list of bye week changes that we will get to. Also, we'll break down the Kansas City Chiefs depth chart. How does the roster stack up heading into the postseason? And we will answer your questions as well with a Rumors mailbag segment. Use hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat to get on the mailbag portion of today's show. So, there you go, folks. Without further ado, we will go ahead and get started as we get this rolling here on this Tuesday. Glad to have you with us. Jonesy and Big Tex here with you on this fine Tuesday, live here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. We will go ahead and get started. Eli Manning. What did Eli have to say about the Kansas City Chiefs in their playoff path? We will dissect that and more coming up as we begin here on this live edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report, starting right now. Two-time Super Bowl MVP Eli Manning had some thoughts about the Kansas City Chiefs and their upcoming playoff run. We will let you hear directly from Eli and react to his comments coming up on this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Before we go any further in today's program, folks, we are closing in on 65,500 subscribers on the channel. And I got to tell you, we are really ramping things up here for the playoff run as we continue to bring you our daily news and rumors. We're going to do our live shows on Tuesdays, watch parties for every playoff game, Q&A mailbags, breaking news, and more. It's all right here on your Kansas City Chiefs headquarters. Subscribe now for free. Help us reach 65,500 subscribers on the channel. Just over 300 away from reaching that next milestone. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV to subscribe now. You'll be glad you did. Eli Manning, the former New York Giants quarterback, now doing some TV on ESPN with his brother Peyton for the Manning cast. They do a phenomenal job with that. And Eli did an interview with Forbes this week previewing the playoffs. And the two-time Super Bowl champion had some interesting thoughts on the Chiefs' Super Bowl chances. And I'll say this, I'll preface this. I really like Eli. And I think Eli means well, but he does come off as a hater based on what he had to say about the Kansas City Chiefs. Eli said the Chiefs won't make it to the Super Bowl. Now, let me clarify. You'll see in the comments in just a moment. Eli not only said the Chiefs won't win the Super Bowl, he said they won't even make it there. Eli is predicting that the Buffalo Bills will win the AFC this year. Hold up. Wait a second. You're telling me that Eli's out here, he doesn't even think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to get to the Super Bowl after the season they've had? Here's more from Eli. I feel like for the first time, the team with the bye and the favorite who had the best season is the underdog in the Chiefs. No one's expecting them to have a three-peat. I think they've played so many close games that I feel like everybody is underestimating them a little bit. So wait a second here. Eli makes a point to say they're underdogs, everybody's underestimating them, and then he proceeds to do the exact same thing. He's underestimating them. Make it make sense. More from Eli. Coach Spags and Andy Reid and their coaching staff always have those guys together. They have Patrick Mahomes, who always seems to make plays at critical moments. That's why the playoffs are so exciting. You never know what's going to happen, who's going to win, who's going to be the team, who's going to get hot at the right time and just make a run. So, Eli, and I say this with all due respect, this is a guy that has had a terrific career that I think is going to be a Hall of Famer and everything. Look, I say this with all due respect. Do you really want to bet against Patrick, Travis, Chris, Andy, and Spags in the postseason? Because I don't. The way I look at it, and I've been told that I am now becoming the cocky Chiefs fan, but I feel like that's earned at this point. Coming off back-to-back Super Bowls, 3 in the Mahomes era, winning 15 games, I feel like we've earned that right to be a little cocky around here. With that said, I personally am not picking against the Chiefs until I see it. Eventually, this run will end. Maybe it's this year, maybe it's next year, who knows when that day comes. But I'm not going to be sitting here, the one going on an island saying, this is when it ends. Eli, you want to do that? That's your prerogative. But respectfully, I disagree. Do you agree with Eli Manning's take on the Chiefs? I certainly don't. I'm typing in for no. What do you think? Type Y for yes, N for no, if you agree with Eli Manning's take on the Chiefs or not. Today's show is sponsored by our friends at GameTime. GameTime is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether you're looking for tickets for sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more, including tickets to see your Kansas City Chiefs in action. GameTime has a new feature called GameTime Picks that makes getting tickets for events even easier. GameTime Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals and great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value. They have their super deals. If you see a super deal, that's one you don't want to pass up on. You can also customize your spot as well. and they have the seat views. And get the visuals, see what your seat is like. Here's how it works. Choose the event. Price is listed. Choose your seat. Then just like that, you're checking out with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. And I got to tell you, I really like Game Time. There's been a lot of moments where I decided on a whim, you know what, I want to go to this sporting event tonight, like let's say a Kansas City Chiefs game, for example. And I saved money by waiting till the last minute because the prices go down the closer it gets to kickoff. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, the lowest price is guaranteed. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Game Time, proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. So, you really want to bet against this Kansas City Chiefs team? 16 wins in a row in one-score games. All right? And some people are going to say, you know, oh, they're getting lucky to find ways to win and all that. I think it's pretty clutch myself. This season, the Chiefs are 11-0 in one-possession games. What we've seen with the two losses, and I don't even really count that Broncos game because you were playing your backups and all that and running a very vanilla, game plan. You can't beat the Chiefs in a one-score game. You have to beat them convincingly because if you leave the crack open just a little bit, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are going to come in and slam it shut. The whole idea that the Chiefs are lucky, I just don't buy. Great teams find ways to win on their off days. And we've seen throughout the course of 2024 that the Chiefs weren't always playing so great. They weren't getting those convincing performances. But at the end of the day, they were finding ways to get it done. And then in that final three-game stretch with their starters, they really started to click it in gear with the win against the Browns, getting 6 turnovers, holding the Browns 7 points. A dominating performance against the Houston Texans. And then a great showing on Christmas against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They just now started to play their best football. And I think that version that we saw before the end of 2024, it's that version of the Chiefs that I believe is going to carry over into the postseason. The Athletic has their updated playoff odds for the Kansas City Chiefs. Their chances to make the AFC title game at about 75%. Obviously, that just means winning their divisional round game. Chances to make the Super Bowl at 45%. And their chances to win the whole thing at 22%. So, although the odds favor everyone else when it comes to making the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl, that's the Chiefs versus the field. They still have the highest odds of any team out there to make their conference championship game, to make the Super Bowl, and to win the Super Bowl. So, essentially, if you're a betting man, are you taking the Chiefs or are you taking the field? It is the Chiefs versus the field. And honestly, I like where the Chiefs are at. I would take the Chiefs over the field at this point in time. And when I take it a step further, when I look at the Athletics points projection, how good are the Kansas City Chiefs? Because that's been the question everybody's asking. They get away with these games. How good are they really? Well, their offense is worth about 26.5 points per game. Defense worth 20 points per game, which gives them about a plus 6.5 advantage when you factor every team in the NFL on a neutral field in those simulation models. They are on average better than 6.5 points than everybody else in the NFL. I think that's pretty good. We await to see who they face in the divisional round. We know it will be one of 4 opponents: the Houston Texans, the LA Chargers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, or the Denver Broncos. And we've seen the Chiefs beat all 4 of those teams earlier this year. Then you go to the AFC Championship, likely to face the Bills or the Ravens. And, yes, the Bills beat Kansas City, at the midway point in the season, but I think the Chiefs are a much better team now. You did beat the Ravens at the start of the season. Honestly, Think about this. Who's got home field? Oh, yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs. Can anyone sit here and picture a team, including the Buffalo Bills, actually going into Arrowhead and stopping the Chiefs from winning the AFC? And then once they get to the Super Bowl, of course. I don't see it happening. I feel like this team's in a really good spot. Let Eli say what he wants to say. Let all the haters and the losers try to write off this Chiefs team. But they ain't riding back. This is still the team to beat. That hasn't changed. So, if you're a betting man, which way would you lean? You lean towards the Chiefs, or would you take the rest of the field, the other 13 teams? I feel so confident. I lean towards the Chiefs over the entire field. Maybe I'm overconfident. Maybe so. And that very well could be the case. But I'm feeling as good as ever about this Chiefs team right now that I have all season. And I've been pretty confident. I've been pretty bullish on this Chiefs team for much of the year anyway. Chiefs of the field, type C for Chiefs, type F for field. Weigh in, let us know. For continuing Chiefs coverage, subscribe now to the Kansas City Chiefs Report for the latest happenings on your favorite team throughout the playoffs and into the offseason right here on the channel. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. All right. One down, 3 to go. First quarter in the books. We'll head to the second quarter. Talk bye-week changes in just a moment. But let's ask you guys, Chiefs or the field? Big Tex rejoins me right now. Big Tex, we're not going to be mad if you say field because just based on math, that would probably be the better bet in all honesty, the field. But if you had to choose one way or the other, what way are you leaning, Chiefs or the other 13?
Hey, I'm not really a betting man, but if recency tells me anything, it's Patrick Mahomes has won the last 2 Super Bowls. I mean, I'm going to take him every time at the end of the day in the postseason to get it done. I'm taking the Chiefs over the field, man. I know, like you said, it's probably a better bet to go with the field, but hey, I'm a Chiefs homer. I'm the Chiefs report producer, man. I got to pick Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs.
You are. He's an adopted Chiefs fan.
That's right. They're my new favorite team.
And you don't have to worry about your Cowboys anymore. They're out of the picture. You can be all in with us.
That's right. I'm all in. I'm all in for that three-peat.
We'll bring you some Chiefs gear to wear for the watch parties.
That's right.
I know you're excited.
Maybe get me a Worthy jersey or something.
Yes.
Jersey.
Yeah, I mean, I know he went to Texas Tech, but he's still a Texas kid, though. Went down the road in Tyler. His dad still hangs out in Tyler on game days, so I'm told.
Wow.
So Patrick Mahomes Sr., so I'm told, I haven't seen this for myself, on Chiefs game days, he goes to the same steakhouse each and every week and watches the Chiefs right there. He doesn't go to the games for whatever reason. I don't know why exactly, but he hangs out at the same steakhouse every week watching the Chiefs play. So, anyways, Super Chat menu if you'd like to get involved in today's show. $sign next to the chat box if you'd like to contribute. First-time Super Chatters get the KC chant. $5 will sing you the Mahomes song. $10 take some shots. $20 get Bean Boozled with the spicy jelly bean. And $50 we will do a beer bong. When we drink, we score. We drink, we win. All right, bye-week changes. What do the Chiefs need to do differently? What do they need to change up prior to the playoffs starting for Kansas City next week? We will explain in just a moment. Then later on, we'll get to our updated depth chart, and we'll do a Q&A mailbag segment as well. Use hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat to get on the mailbag portion of the show. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Bye-week changes, what you need to know from the Kansas City Chiefs, what we expect from them as we enter the postseason. We'll discuss that right now here in the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Welcome in to the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for stopping by. The Chiefs have the week off this week. The way I look at it is that that's a playoff win that they've earned by getting that number 1 seed. What changes do Andy Reid and company need to make over the next few days before they begin their playoff run? I got a few ideas. We'll examine them and more coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we get started, I got a little question for the chat out there today. Are you a bandwagon Chiefs fan? were you a Chiefs fan prior to their first Super Bowl win in the Mahomes era? If you were, go ahead and like today's video. If you're a newbie, and that's fine, come one, come all. I know we had a lot of Swifties become Chiefs fans in recent memory. Go ahead and comment how long you've been a Chiefs fan. If you've been a Chiefs fan before that, just hit the like button. If you're a younger one that hopped on the bandwagon in the last couple of years, just go ahead and comment and let us know how long you've been a Chiefs fan. We'll get started with today's show. I got 3 things I want to focus on today of some changes the Chiefs need to make in this bye week before they begin their playoff run. And where I want to start today is at the running back position with Isaiah Pacheco. Pacheco, I think, when healthy, is a top 5 back in this league. Pacheco is really good. And this offense is at its best when Pacheco is shaking and baking like Ricky Bobby, and that they run the football, they establish the run to open up the passing game. I think that's when they're at their best. And, you know, when I look at Isaiah Pacheco, I see that dog in him. I want to see it even further, though. We've seen in the postseason him just put his head down, reach up there, pull those belts tight, strap in, and go guns a-blazing. I want to see that version of Isaiah Pacheco because, in all honesty, we really haven't seen the dog version of Isaiah Pacheco since week 2 of this season when he rushed for 90-plus yards against the Cincinnati Bengals, and then he got hurt, of course. We've seen a few flashes. I think we all remember that big run he had against the Raiders, which was the longest run of any rusher this season. But we still haven't seen Pacheco back to his old self. And if you recall, last playoffs, Pacheco was fantastic. In the 2024 playoffs, en route to winning another Super Bowl title, Pacheco rushed for 313 yards in 4 games, averaged close to 4 yards a carry and 3 touchdowns off of 81 carries. Pacheco was really good last postseason. If Pacheco can do something similar in this playoff run to what he did last playoffs, there's not a doubt in my mind who's hoisting that Lombardi trophy. That's, to me, the key. Can we get the old Pacheco back? If the Chiefs can run the football and get that dog out of Isaiah Pacheco, then they're going to be in really good shape here in the next few weeks. Will Isaiah Pacheco turn it on in the playoffs? Will he get back to the Isaiah Pacheco we know and love? Weigh in the comment section. Let us know. Type Y for yes, in for no. Today's show is sponsored by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. You choose 2 or more players on any given category. Get the choice of more or less, whether you're talking fantasy points in football, rebounds in basketball, goals in hockey, all sorts of different categories to choose from. And PrizePicks, right now, folks, you can win up to 1,000 times your money. And also, you can win, get this, you put $5 down, you get $50 to spend for free. You don't even have to win to get the money. It's as easy as that. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. I'm looking ahead to the semifinals of the college playoffs going on this week. I got Jeremiah Smith, the best receiver in college football. They have more than 86.5 receiving yards. No way UT is going to be able to slow him down. I got Drew Aller to have more than 185.5 passing yards against Notre Dame. And I'll go with Judkins to have less than 53.5 rushing yards against UT. UT's got a pretty good run defense. Play along with me. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. PrizePicks, proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Number 2 on our bye week changes. I think the Chiefs need to figure out what they're doing at the left tackle position. This has been an ongoing problem all season long. Started with Kingsley. That didn't go so great. Then you went to Wanya Morris. That didn't go much better. Then you bring in DJ Humphries, and he gets hurt. Then you move Joe Thuney over the left tackle spot, but that's not what you really wanted to do. It's kind of your last resort. Then DJ Humphries got healthy and wasn't a great showing last week against Denver. More on that later. What do you do? Honestly, I don't know what the right decision is, but I trust Andy's judgment here. I just hope that they have a plan of action and that they execute it accordingly. Think about this, all right? Let's start with DJ Humphries. Last week against Denver, his first game back, it did not go great. His offensive grade was a 41.2. His pass block grade, you got to hide the women and children here. I almost feel like I got to hide the graphic. Oh, I can't reach over. 10.2 was his pass block grade last week. But on a silver lining, run blocking was really good. 78.9, but boy, oh boy, pass blocking needed some work. You guys already know this stat. You knew it was coming. Patrick Mahomes, he's been sacked 36 times, a career high. And what my fear is, folks, we all remember the second Super Bowl that this era the Chiefs were in against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the COVID Super Bowl. Mahomes was running for his life all day. Mahomes actually played pretty well that day, but he had no protection, and as a result, the Chiefs got blown out. My fear with this potential run, the thing that could stop them from not winning this is a reoccurrence of what happened in that Super Bowl. That is my biggest fear going into this postseason, that something like that could happen again if they don't figure out this tackle situation. And believe me, it's just the tackle situation that they need to figure out, because you look at the rest of the offensive line. Did you know Joe Thuney, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, those guys have not allowed a single sack all year. So as much as we talk about the offensive line issues and all that, it's not those three. That's not the problem. It is the left tackle position. Now, Jawan Taylor, I would like him to cut down on the penalties. That's a whole nother issue. But the left side, if DJ can get the job done, if they need to play Thuney at the left tackle spot, which they had some decent success with in the last few weeks of the regular season, although the run blocking wasn't great, I think Andy is going to, what he wants to do is go with DJ Humphries and then play Thuney at his normal position of left guard. That's what they want to do. But is that the right thing? I don't know, in all honesty. But I hope Andy figures it out. What's your confidence level in the Chiefs' offensive line? Scale it for me 1 through 10. How you feeling? I'm not feeling great. I'll go with about a 6, if I'm going to be honest with you. Give me your confidence level, weigh in, and let us know. The Chiefs Report is heating things up over the next few weeks here on the channel. We'll continue to do our live shows on Tuesdays, watch parties for every playoff game, daily news and rumors. We're going to bring you sometimes 2 and 3 videos a day here on the channel, breaking news, Q&A mailbags. It is going to be a lot of fun over the next few weeks. You got to be subscribed to the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Nonstop Chiefs coverage each and every day throughout the entire playoffs, all year long. The offseason, going to be a lot of fun too. I don't even want to think about the offseason right now, though. Subscribe now to the Chiefs Report, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. To subscribe now, you'll be glad you did. Last thing, get healthy. And we'll let you hear from Patrick Mahomes in just a moment, but to me, with getting the bye week, it's twofold here, right? Yes, that's essentially a playoff win. That's a week of rest. That's another week for these guys to get back on track. It's going to be like a 25-day gap between the last time we saw the starters hit the field and when they take the field again in the postseason. That's a long time, and what you hope is that the guys don't get rusty from that, but get rejuvenated, get that little extra kick, if you will, in that stretch. I'll say this, though. Although there are some very notable names in this intro report that we'll show you in a moment, they are headed in the right direction, especially compared to most teams at this time of the year. Have you seen what's going on in Detroit? That's a mess. And when you talk about the injuries that the Chiefs faced earlier in the year, without Marquise Brown and Rashee Rice and Juju and on and on and on, they're still in a much better position than they were. Here's a list of the injuries for the Chiefs. You got Chris Jones with the calf issue, Jawan Taylor with a knee injury, Isaiah Pacheco with the ribs injury, Trent McDuffie with the knee injury, and Shamari Connor with the shoulder injury. And remember, Patrick got a little banged up with that ankle. But all signs point to, so we've been told anyway, that these guys are headed in the right track. I would be very surprised if all 5 players we're talking about here, if they're not playing in that divisional round game. I think that this is all trending forward in the right direction. Mahomes said this on getting healthy. It's just going to be nice getting guys healthy. I think this was the earliest the regular season bye I've ever had just in general to kind of have this grind of whatever it is. I think we had our bye week 6, so it's almost like 10 weeks of just football and grinding, and then this short schedule at the very end of the year. How far will the Chiefs go in the postseason? I think they're going to win the whole thing. I'm feeling pretty good. How are you feeling? How far are the Chiefs going? Way in the chat. Let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed today's show, you already know what to do. Hit that like button. We certainly would appreciate it. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. All right. 2 down. Up next, our depth chart, and then we'll do a Q&A rumors mailbag in a moment. But want to hear from you guys. Will Isaiah Pacheco turn it on in the playoffs? Y for yes, N for no. Y for C, N for no. For our Spanish-speaking friends. Let us know in the chat. We did get a super chat that we'll get to here in a moment. But seems like everybody in the chat's pretty confident Pacheco's going to turn it on. I feel pretty good. I think that 25 days is going to be very good for Isaiah Pacheco. I feel pretty confident that he's going to turn things up when it matters, as we've seen him do in the past. I still can't believe Eli doubting the Chiefs. Eli, you're better than that, man. Granted, it is coming from the guy that stopped an 18-0 team. So, I mean, to an extent, like, you know, if anybody's allowed to say that this team can't get it done, I guess Eli can get away with that. But still, I'm a little disappointed in Eli. He's not my favorite Manning brother right now. Typically, I like Eli more than Peyton, and I like Peyton too. But he's not my favorite Manning right now. Maybe Cooper's my favorite Manning. We'll see what Peyton has to say about the Chiefs. Arch, he's got work to do to be my favorite Manning. He's got work to do to be my favorite Manning at this point. We'll see. Mike Telson with a $2 super chat. Hi. You see any upsets wild card weekend? Let me pull up the bracket. Let's see here. Let's see. It'd be nice if the Broncos could beat the Bills. I don't see that happening, though. I think the Chargers will beat the Texans. I feel pretty good about that. I know they're at home, but I like the Bucs over the Commanders. I think the Commanders are probably favored in that game. Rams, Vikings. I'll just give you all my picks here. I'll just lay them all on you for Super Wild Card Weekend. The NFL's still trying to call it Super Wild Card Weekend, trying to force that on us. Give me the Chargers. Give me the Ravens. Give me the Bills, the Eagles, Bucks, and I'll take the Vikings. Those would be my picks for this weekend. What do you think of Tex? How do you see Wild Card Weekend playing out here? You got any interesting picks here?
I feel pretty similar to you. I'd say the only one I just take, on a whim, just so the Chiefs have an easier postseason stretch, take the Broncos over the Bills.
That'd be nice.
That'd be nice. Get the Bills out of the way, get Josh out of there. I mean, if there's any team in the AFC that's really given trouble to the Chiefs in recent memory, it's definitely the Bills in the postseason and maybe the Bengals back in the day when they got to the Super Bowl. Yeah. But other than that, not really. I think every team that's supposed to win on paper is probably going to win.
Yeah. For everybody that was bitching about the college football playoff expansion and all these blowouts, I'll tell you what, these wild card round games, we're going to be lucky to get a couple competitive games. I think you're going to see some blowouts this weekend. And is everybody going to start complaining that the playoffs are too big in the NFL too? Are we going to have that discussion? I hope not. I like more games, even if it means more blowouts. I like more games to give more teams a chance. We'll see. Mike, thanks for that super chat. If you want to be like Mike and send in a super chat, first tap super chat is get the KC chant. $5, do the Mahomes song. $10, take some shots. $20, get bean boozled. $50, we will do a beer bong. Up next, depth chart time. As I hear Raiders going off down the hall. How about the Raiders getting rid of Antonio Pierce today? Wasn't that funny? I told you on this show months ago that the Raiders are going to have a new coach and a new quarterback next season. Mitchell Renz and Raiders Report didn't want to believe me. I told you. Raiders going to Raider. I'll be honest, though. I wish the Raiders were competitive. I really wish they were, because it would be better for this rivalry and it would be better for the NFL if the Raiders were relevant. But they are not. Updated depth chart. Let's run through the Chiefs' updated depth chart. Then we'll get through our Q&A mailbag. We'll do that as we're about halfway home. Tony's got the right idea. Raiders going to Raider. Exactly. Raiders going to Raider indeed. Depth chart time starts right now here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. You're watching the Kansas City Chiefs Report, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. It is playoff time in Kansas City. Almost. On today's show, we are going to take a look at the updated depth chart for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I got to tell you, from where this depth chart was at the beginning of the season to where it's at now, there have been a lot of changes, a lot of surprises. We will dissect it piece by piece, from the offense to the defense and even the special teams. All that and more coming up on today's show. Before we go any further in the program, if you're ready for the Chiefs playoff run, spam KC in the comments section. I want everybody to get on their feet, get rowdy, as if you're in your seats at Arrowhead Stadium. I want you to use that comment section loud and clear. Spam KC. Let's hear it. And let them know that we're excited for another Chiefs Super Bowl run. Spam KC, and we'll get started with today's show. A surprising depth chart for the Kansas City Chiefs. We have come a long way, folks. And on today's program, we will go piece by piece of what the depth chart looks like for the Kansas City Chiefs heading into the postseason. Let's start with the quarterback position. Big shocker here. Patrick Mahomes, still QB1, with Carson Wentz as your QB2. Wentz did not play great against the Denver Broncos, if we're going to be honest with you. He looked okay against the Cleveland Browns a couple weeks ago. I hope that we don't have to turn to Carson Wentz, but we'll see. The backfield for the Kansas City Chiefs has gone through a lot of changes this season. Pacheco went down. Carson Steele got his chance. We saw some of Samaje Perine. Kareem Hunt got signed. Then Pacheco got healthy. Now Pacheco's back to being RB1 with Kareem Hunt next to him as the RB2. And if I'm the Kansas City Chiefs over the next few weeks, you got to run the damn ball. You have to run the football. It's going to be cold out there. And the best way, I think, to attack these opposing defenses is to establish the run and get the most out of Pacheco, out of Kareem Hunt. I think it's going to be a running back by committee ordeal where you're going to get the most out of both of them. And it might come down to who has the hot hand. I don't care who leads this team in rushing. I just want to see them run the football effectively. And I think that the Chiefs are going to put a re-emphasis on that run game here over the next few weeks to open up the passing game in that sense. What do you think of the Chiefs depth chart heading into the postseason? Give me a grade. It's our pinned comment today. A, B, C, D, or F. Weigh in the comment section and let us know what your grade is. Let's go to the wide receiver room for Kansas City now. Rashee Rice, of course, went down early in the season, and this has been kind of all over the place with Hollywood Brown getting injured in the preseason. He made his return late. Now we have DeAndre Hopkins at the left wide receiver spot. Xavier Worthy, who has been really good the last few weeks, he's at your right wide receiver position. Hollywood Brown in the slot with Watson, Nico, and Juju backing them up as well. I love how this group turned out. It is wild that we got to this point. Who would have thought at the beginning of the year we'd be talking about DeAndre Hopkins being involved? We've seen Juju have some moments. We saw Justin Watson play good in the Steelers game. And it feels like it's a different guy every week stepping up for this receiving core. You don't really have a true wide receiver one right now with no Rashee Rice involved, but you're keeping defenses honest because you have so many different ways you can attack opposing defenses, whether it's in the screen game, the middle of the field, the deep passing game. You got a lot of versatility with this receiving group. The tight ends, Travis Kelce, looking to have another fantastic playoff run. He's been so good over the years at this time. Noah Gray has had a breakout season in 2024. Heck, Peyton Hendershot wasn't too bad in that game against Denver. I'm telling you, all the attention is going to be focused on Travis Kelce, and rightfully so. Greatest tight end in the history of the game. But watch out for Noah Gray. Noah Gray has had a couple of multiple touchdown games this season. And if defenses focus too much on Travis Kelce, Noah Gray is going to beat him. I like what this 1-2 punch can do together. I think Noah Gray is going to be a player to watch here in the playoffs, and he's my X factor for Kansas City. I know he's our boy Tony's X factor too. Who is going to be an X factor for the Chiefs offense? We're high on Noah Gray around here. Who are you high on? Way in the comment section. Let us know who that player that comes to mind is. Today's show is sponsored by GameTime. GameTime is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether you're looking for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more, GameTime's got you covered. GameTime has a new feature called GameTime Picks that makes getting tickets for events even easier. GameTime Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals and great seats. You don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value. They have their super deals. If you see a super deal, you don't want to pass up on that. They have their seat views and get the visual, see what that seat is like, and then bam, just like that, you're checking out on GameTime with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. And get this, folks, you can save money the closer it gets to kickoff. Look, I've used GameTime plenty, including to see the Kansas City Chiefs. And you know what I do? I choose the event and got the prices listed. I choose my seat, and then I'm checking out. And I'm saving money by waiting till the last minute on GameTime, and you can too. Download the GameTime app, create an account, use code ChatSports, $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPRTS for $20 off. Download GameTime today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. The offensive line for the Chiefs. Andy Reid has indicated that DJ Humphries will be your starting left tackle, that Joe Thuney will play his natural position of the left guard spot with Creed Humphrey at center, Trey Smith at right guard, Jawan Taylor at the right tackle spot, assuming that Jawan Taylor comes back from injury. I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't nervous about the left tackle position, because what we've seen from DJ Humphries in a small sample size has not been good. Granted, small sample size. And also, when you think about the other options, Wanya there and Kingsley, that hasn't gone so great. What I would say, Andy, if you're watching, and you don't need my advice, Andy, but I'll give it to you anyway. If DJ's struggling, if it isn't going well, don't hesitate to go back to Joe Thuney at the left tackle position, because that's when we've seen the Chiefs at their best, is when Thuney plays left tackle. I know Andy wants to go with DJ at the left tackle spot, but if it isn't working, don't hesitate to pull the plug and move Thuney back to left tackle, just to kind of save face for the playoffs, if you will. Let's go to the defense now. The defensive line, Karlaftis at the defensive end spot. Amenahue has been really good since coming back from injury. Wharton's been solid. Chris Jones, the CEO of Sack Nation, he's going to step up. And then, of course, Mike Dana there as well. I'd like to see more from King Felix. We've been waiting. But speaking of stepping up, how about Karlaftis? This year, kind of a down year from the breakout sophomore campaign he had. But towards the end of the season, started to play better. And we saw what he did in the postseason last year. I'm watching out for Karlaftis. I want to see this pass rush reach its full potential. Because in all honesty, for as good of pass rushers you have, the sack rate was towards the bottom half of the league this year. I expect more of this pass rush. I think Karlaftis is a big factor in that equation. I think that Karlaftis needs to have a good postseason for this Chiefs team. The linebacker room, Tranquil, Bolton, Chanel. Nick Bolton, I think, is going to step up. I really am excited about Nick Bolton. We've seen him play very well in the postseason in the past. I think he'll be a name to watch. Don't sleep on Drew either. Drew, just when people write him off, he finds ways to make big plays in some big moments. Who is going to be a breakout player on the defensive side of the ball for the Kansas City Chiefs this postseason? Give me a name. Who is a breakout player on defense? Weigh in and let us know. For the best Chiefs coverage you won't find anywhere else, you got to subscribe to the Kansas City Chiefs Report, as we are bringing you live shows on Tuesdays, watch parties for every playoff game, daily news and rumors, Q&A mailbags, breaking news, all right here on your one-stop shop for all things Kansas City Chiefs. No one, and I mean nobody, is covering your Kansas City Chiefs like we are here on the channel. Subscribe, never miss a moment. If there's anything that happens, any urgent breaking news, I don't care if I'm away with my family or if I'm asleep and somebody has to call me and wake me up, we're going to bring you a video here on the channel one way or the other. Subscribe now for free to up-to-the-minute Chiefs coverage throughout the playoffs right here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Subscribe now, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. The corners for the Kansas City Chiefs, Trent McDuffie snubbed from the Pro Bowl, a highway robbery. Joshua Williams at the left corner spot, Chamari Connor at the nickelback spot. One of the million-dollar questions for the Chiefs entering the playoffs here, can we count on the corner room? I know I can count on Trent McDuffie. Connor's been pretty solid. That left corner spot, I'm pretty nervous about that left corner spot. It has not been good since Jalen Watson went down. Can they come through? Can they be good enough in this postseason? I don't know. I hope. We'll see. The safeties, Brian Cook, Justin Reid. How about Jaden Hicks? That dude, he's been a dog the last few weeks. I like what I've seen from Jaden Hicks. I think you're going to see a lot of three high safety looks and see Hicks continue to find ways to get involved. Watch out for him. And then the special teams unit, America's kicker, Harrison Butker, fully healthy, ready to go. The punt god, Matt Ariza. Man, I would love for him to beat the Buffalo Bills. They did him dirty. James Winchester, my old friend, my Choctaw brethren. James Winchester at the long snapper position, the best long snapper in the NFL. And then, of course, Nico holding things down at the kick and punt return duties as well there in special teams. I think these guys are pretty dependable. They'll get the job done. Confidence level entering the postseason. I'm feeling pretty good. I got a few questions. Left tackle, outside corner, but all in all, Chiefs are in a great spot. What's your confidence level? Scale it for me. I'm going to go about a 9. Give me your confidence level 1 through 10. Let us know. For continuing Chiefs coverage, follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Tyler Jones Live, and we'll see you next time. All right. One more segment, and then we'll wrap things up in a moment. Grade the Chiefs depth chart, A, B, C, D, or F. You know, Tex, I'll say this. I know that there's been a lot of discussion over the last several weeks about, oh, my God, the left tackle spot. Oh, my God, the corner position. But you're going to have flaws somewhere. It can't be perfect. I think if those are the two things we have to worry about, at least for the Kansas City Chiefs, what they've shown this year is they can manage through those. I think it's workable for Kansas City here with those two big concerns.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, every team in the NFL has some form of weakness. There's no perfect team out there.
No.
And the Chiefs are no exception to that rule. But again, like you said, I don't think that's something that overwhelms the team and their trajectory and their goals for this postseason, which is to three-peat, to win their third Super Bowl in 3 years. And I don't think it's going to have a negative enough impact to where it just totally derails the season.
If we did a team needs segment for every team in the NFL, every team would have needs.
Every team. There's no team without a need.
It's not going to be perfect, but I think it's still pretty solid. I'll go with an A-. Give me your grade in the chat right now. Mike going B+, Hector going B, Richard going A-, Brian going B, Tex wants to know, pick Tex is my question in the mailbag, buddy, with the arms. Tony, is it a good question? Tony, I hope you gave me a good question. Okay, it's a good question. You're in. You're in, Tony. We need some more questions. Hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat. I'm going to give you guys about 2 minutes. I need some questions for the mailbag. Gabe, Rugby Gamer, Paul, Richard, get your questions in. Don't make me wait. I got places to be. I got things to do. Yeah, that's fine. I won't spend much time on it, but we can talk about it. You can throw up the playoff picture when I talk about it. Get some questions in. Tony says, man, like me once said, don't make Tyler wait. Exactly. Paul wants to know, is his question in the mailbag? I believe it should be, Paul. Rugby, thanks for getting a question in. I need about 3 more questions, then we can start. 3 more questions, then we'll be good to go. Brian, I want you to get in there. Get in there. Yeah. Michael, get a question in. Mike, Hector, Richard, get those questions in. Let's get on with it. There we go. Gabe's got one. Now I need 2 more. 2 more. Hector's got one. There we go. 1 more. 1 more. Devin, okay, that's cool. Go Chiefs, but that's not a question. Cool. Go Chiefs. Yay, hoorah. Go team. Go fight, win. Okay, cool. Sure. Go Chiefs. Any questions? Hoorah. Go team. Fight, win. Yeah. Okay. Now we got questions. Under 2 minutes. You done good, guys. You done good. Now let's do this mailbag. Time to touch our bags and drop our sack on this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. As we have some promising news to get to. Pat, how does Humphrey look? Why don't you use the hashtag Chiefs? How many times do I have to say it? Hashtag Chiefs. I can't put it on screen unless you use hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat, like Aoki just did. All right, here we go. Mailbag time. Here we go. It is mailbag time here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report, and I got some promising news to get to when it comes to Isaiah Pacheco, as well as Trent McDuffie and a few others. When you guys send your questions to us, we react to them, and it's called a mailbag. I've already taken a little sneak peek at the mailbag questions, and you're going to like what you're about to hear in just a bit, folks. And you may be wondering, how can I be a part of your next mailbag segment? Well, you're in luck, folks. If you subscribe to the Kansas City Chiefs Report and turn on notifications and join what we call the Noti Gang, those are people that are alerted when we have brand new content here on the channel, from our news and rumors to our live shows, our watch parties, all of that. Turn on notifications. Subscribe now for free. Spam Noti Gang in the comments section if you have your notifications turned on. We'll get started with today's show. Mike writes in, Mike Tilson, hi. Do you see any upsets in the wild card round? Well, let's take a look at the AFC playoff picture. We have 6 games in the wild card round, including in the AFC. You got the Chargers taking on the Texans, Steelers, Ravens, Broncos, Bills, Packers, Eagles, Commanders and Bucks, Vikings and Rams. And I got to tell you, I think the Bolts are going to get the best of the Houston Texans. I like the Chargers to get the upset on the road. I will be rooting for the Steelers and the Broncos to make life easier on the Chiefs and to knock out the Ravens and the Bills. That would be nice. Do I think that's going to happen? No. But I will be rooting for that to happen. Also, on the NFC side, I like the Bucks over the Commanders. And I think the Packers have a decent chance against the Eagles, although the Eagles have played pretty good themselves. Vikings should beat the Rams, but it won't happen if Sam Darnold plays like he did last week. They need the good Sam Darnold to show up again. If he plays like he did last week, the Rams will win that game at home. But should be fun. Wild card weekend. Get to sit back and enjoy it And we'll see how it all plays out this weekend. Certainly looking forward to that. Andy is king, writes in. How does Pacheco's health look going into the playoffs? So Andy Reid was talking about this the other day, and he made an interesting point. He said that the injury that he suffered there after coming off of injured reserve just a few weeks prior to that he is, in Andy's words, playoff ready. And he is going to be just fine. That it is not an issue, that Pacheco is going to be A-OK for this playoff run, and that he should be full steam ahead, 100%. Maybe there's some pain he's dealing with, but as my old middle school football coach, Coach Langford, would say, you play with pain, all right? The old adage, hurt or injured. I think Pacheco's probably not feeling comfortable. I can't say the man's sleeping well at night with how much he's, been banged up this year, but it's manageable. I think you'll see him at full speed, at full strength, and I have every reason to think that we're going to get the old Pacheco back that we saw prior to that Bengals game when he got banged up. Remember, he rushed for 90 yards against the Bengals? We haven't seen that version of Pacheco since. And he was really good in the postseason last year. I think that the real Isaiah Pacheco is about to show up and show out here in this postseason. Do you believe in Isaiah Pacheco? If you're like me and you do, type B for believe. If not, type D for don't. Weigh in on our pinned comment today. Let us know. B for believe, D for don't. Today's show is sponsored by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. Choose two or more players in any given category. Get the choice of more or less. Whether you're talking fantasy points in football, rebounds in basketball, goals in hockey, all sorts of different categories to choose from. Go to prizepicks.com/SailItS, promo code SailItS, and get $50 to play for free when you play $5. You don't even have to win to get the money. And right now on PrizePicks, you can win up to 1,000 times your money at prizepicks.com/SailItS. I had a PrizePicks entry this week for the college football playoffs. Went with Jeremiah Smith to have more than 86.5 receiving yards. Drew Aller to have more than 185.5 passing yards. And Judkins, the Ohio State running back, to have less than 53.5 rushing yards. Play along with me. PrizePicks.com/SailItS. Promo code SailItS. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. PrizePicks, proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Glad to have him on board here on today's show. My guy, Tony. Tony writing in. This is really Texas guy. They work out together. They lift and they don't skip leg day and all that. Hashtag Chiefs. Tyler. I'm confident in the Chiefs hiding into the postseason. But would that confident come back and bite us? Very interesting, Tony. So let's put it this way. The Chiefs, we told you earlier in the week about Eli Manning saying that he doesn't think that they'll repeat, that nobody expects them to repeat. And I sat there when I heard those comments. I'm like, wait, what? What's he talking about? Because I think all of us here in the Chiefs' kingdom are expecting them to repeat. I think that the expectations are extremely high. Maybe everybody else is doubting the Chiefs and writing them off elsewhere, but I don't think the mentality's changed at all. I think the Chiefs have been there, done that before. They've seen what it takes. They know how to win when it matters, how to turn it on in December and January and February, and I have every reason to think that's going to happen once again. I don't have a doubt in my mind the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl and win when it matters most. Maybe I'm overconfident, but I feel like they're in a good spot. And I'll say this. Tony, I would understand the hesitation some might have of being overconfident. But think about this. Patrick Mahomes. We love Patrick. We do. And one of the things that has driven him throughout the years is that he's a little petty of sorts. Not in a bad way, though. That's not an insult. Let me make that clear. But Patrick Mahomes over the years, whether it was not being in the top 3 in the NFL top 100 list, or a number of things that people have said. He writes them down, and then he says, see, look at me now. I think he's got that chip on his shoulder this time of not being named to the Pro Bowl. Now, he's not going to play in the Pro Bowl. We know that because the Chiefs will be in the Super Bowl, and it'll be the bye week of the Super Bowl and all that. But just the fact that he was a little disrespected, I think that's all the edge, the motivation he needs. And the same happened with Trent McDuffie as well. This team's going to come out firing. I'm pretty confident that's going to be the case. Mr. Mahomes writes in, is Trent McDuffie going to be fine heading into the postseason? So he had a little injury, got a little banged up. I believe we have the injury list. We can show you here in just a bit of the guys that are a little shaken up heading into the playoffs. Trent McDuffie with a knee injury, that is. But I'm not worried. Andy seems to be thinking that everything's okay, that he should be full speed, everything should be fine. Trent McDuffie, everything points to him being in the right track. And I got to tell you, how about what we've seen from Trent McDuffie in this last month? Went almost 3 years without an interception, which people that are not smart, they're football idiots, will say, how can he be that great of a corner and not have an interception? Well, because, you dumbass, they're not throwing in his direction. He did such a good job playing lockdown defense that he was keeping teams from throwing the football his way. And then, when they finally decided to throw it his direction, Jameis, C.J. Stroud, turned it into interceptions, turned it into turnovers. So McDuffie's fine. His health seems to be A-okay, and he's playing at a high level too. I think he's going to be great in the playoffs. Will Trent McDuffie step up in the playoffs? Type Y for yes, in for no. Let us know in the chat if you think McDuffie is going to step up or not. $5 super chat coming in from Dark Fear. That's an interesting username. I like it. Do you think DJ Humphries will start against the Lions and continue depend on how he feels? So we're already going to the Super Bowl. I like that. That's the only place they would play the Lions, obviously, being an NFC team. So Andy wants to, it seems, go with DJ at the left tackle spot, Tooney at the left guard spot. And if DJ struggles, then they could go back to Tooney at the left tackle position. But it all just depends on how it goes. If this goes the way Andy wants, then yes, DJ, in theory, would be starting in the Super Bowl. If it doesn't, then they could go back to Joe Tooney. But if DJ stays healthy, I think Andy wants to make this work. I would say if I were a betting man, and I am a betting man, that the most likely scenario is, yes, that DJ starts every game in the playoffs. But let's see, one, if he plays well, and two, if his health holds up. That remains to be seen. Last question, Paul writes in. KC Chiefs, Super Bowl champion. KC Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, GOAT, MVP, and three-peat. Yes. Yes. It's going to happen, Paul. It is going to happen. Get ready. Start getting your PTO days ready, lined up for the parade. Maybe for the day after the Super Bowl when you're going to be hungover from celebrating. Let your bosses know, hey, I need these days off because I got to celebrate accordingly. Yes, get ready. Get prepared. Prepare accordingly. And you can start preparing by subscribing to the Kansas City Chiefs Report as we're covering this Chiefs playoff run like no one else is. I am your fearless leader, Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. All right. So I do owe the KC chant for Dark Fear. We'll throw a super chat back on screen, and then we'll sign off after that. Dark Fear, first-time super chat. Let's give him the first-time super chat graphic if we can. There it is. Dark Fear, thanks for supporting the show. And that avatar, is that Rashee Rice on a mountain in the snow? Where did you find that? Did you make that, Dark Fear? I miss Rashee. I can't wait till he comes back. Hopefully he doesn't get suspended. Roger, let him get away with it. All right. There's not going to be any legal repercussions. He's okay. Just let us have Rashee back week 1 next year, please. for Dark Fear. Touchdown, Kansas City. There you go, Dark Fear. Salute to you. Thanks for that. All right, y'all. A lot of fun today. More coverage on the channel all week long. And, of course, we will be here next week, same time, same place, 4:30 Central Time, and then the watch party for the divisional game. We don't know when that game will be, who we're playing yet. But when we know, we'll know. And if I were to guess, I think the Chiefs are going to play one of those Saturday games with having the bye. I would guess it's going to be one of the Saturday games that opening week, but we'll see. For Big Tex, I'm Tyler Jones. Have a great night. So long, everybody. We'll see you next time.